today we are going to review the movie Watchmen that came in 2009, and let's do its full movie review. So Watchmen 2009 directed by Jack Snyder and based on the graphic novel by Alan Murray and Dave Gibbons. It's not a traditional superhero movie. It's a slow, heavy, moral, complex story that asks brutal questions again and again. Like what happens when people who wear masks are just as broken as the world they try to save. Satire Ultimate warrior of the United States during the Cold War, the film imagines a reality where costume vigilance was the stage changed history and then fall under the weight of their own flaw. If we talk about opening, a world already broken, the film opens with the murder of Edward Black, known as a comedian, a former government-backed vigilant. His death immediately set a dark tone. This is not a heroic death, it's violent, ugly, and unresolved. Through a through a storyline opening montage, the film rewrite American history. Superhero influences the politics. Nixon remains president. The Vietnam War is won by the US, and nuclear tension hangs constantly over the world. From the beginning, Watchmen shows that power does not create peace, it reshapes violence. Restores moral absolutism in a rotten world. Rorschach becomes the emotional engine of the film. He is paranoid, aggressive, socially broken, and utterly uncompromised. He sees the world in black and white, good and evil with no gray. His investigation into the comedian death is driven by fear that someone is hunting former vigilance. But beneath that fear is something deeper. If we talk about Rogers need the world to be corrupt, because if the world is corrupt, his action is justified. He does not want justice to be fair, he wants it to be absolute. The Watchmen are not heroes. As the story unfolds, we meet the remaining villains. If we talk about Winnie Railway, Night Owl 2, a kind where Dan Delmer night owl to a kind, insecure man who wishes being a hero because it made him feel useless, useful. Without the costume, he feels small and irrelevant. His rage is tied more to nostalgia than purpose. And if we talk about Laurie Jupiter or Silk Spectre 2, trapped between identity, Laura struggles with her past, her mother's expectations, and her relationship with Dr. Manhattan. She is not simply searching for heroism, she is searching for truth about herself. And if we talk about Dr. Manhattan, the most powerful being on earth and the most emotionally distant as a god-like figure who experiences time non-linearly, he slowly loses interest in humanity. His tragedy is not power, it is detachment. He sees everything and therefore feels nothing. And if we talk about Adrian Matt, ornament is the smartest man in the world, calm, controlled, brilliant, unlike the others. He doesn't react to chaos, he plans for it. Adrians believes the world can't be saved through morality or heroism, only through calculated sacrifices. Uh, Power does not create moral clarity. One of the film's strongest themes is that power does not improve character, and nonsense more certainty becomes cruelty. Dr. Manhattan's goodwill leads to indifference, night, all heroes mask insecurity, and the comedian's realism turns into nihilism. The film refuses to glorify vigilance. Instead, it exposes them as reflections of the world's failure. Masks do not create heroes, they hide them. And if we talk about the emotional core, Laurie and Manhattan. Laurie's journey is one of self-awareness when she learns the truth about her percentage. It reframes her entire identity. The moment becomes crucial for Dr. Manhattan. For the first time, he sees humanity not as predictable particles, but as unlikely miracles. Yet even this realization may not be enough to save the world. If we talk about Ozymandias and ultimate research, the film's final act reveals Adriana West's plan, a catastrophic act designed to unite humanity through shared fear and loss. He does not ask if it is right, he asks if it will work. There is this is where Watchmen becomes truly unsettling. There is no clear villain, there is no clean solution, only consequences. Atlanta sacrificed millions to prevent billions from dying in nuclear war, and the film does not give you permission to forgive him or condemn him easily. And if we talk about Richardson, and moral integrity at any cost. Richards refuses to compromise. He believes truth matters more than peace. His final moments are not triumphant, they are tragic. He would rather die than live in a world built on a lie. This moment defines this entire film. Is peace built on deception still peace? Or is truth worth the destruction it caused? The ending, no comfort, no victory. The films end quickly, the world is saved, possibly, but nothing feels resolved. Humanity survives, but at what cost? Truth is buried, but may resurface. Power remains unchecked, the future is uncertain. There is no victory, only survival. As we talk about themes that linger, moral absolution versus moral compromise. The danger of unchecked intelligence, power without empathy, truth versus peace, the cost of playing God. Watchmen does not tell you to think, it costs you what to think. It costs you to sit with discomfort. If you talk about minor verdict, Watchmen 2009 is not a superhero film, it is a low post-hero film. It deconstructs the ideas of savior and replaces it with deeply flawed humans trying to impose order on chaos. It's slow, it's heavy, it's moral exhausting, and that's exactly the point. This is film about a world where heroes existed and failed to save anything without breaking something else. And we are going one more. And now let's do a little explanation with scene by scene. So first scene that gave it operation comedian death. The film opens in 1985 with a brutal fight inside a New York apartment. Edward Blake, known as a comedian, is attacked by an unknown figure despite his strength and experience. Black is overpowered thrown through a window and killed on the street below. This scene immediately breaks the superhero fantasy. There is no glory here, only violence and vulnerability. A man who was once helped save world events die alone, discarded like any other body. His blood-stained, smiley badge, cracked with blood across its face, becomes the first central symbol. And if we talk about opening credit of Logan history, through a slow motion water, the film rewrites American history. Masked heroes appear in 1940s. Crime fighters become celebrities. The Vietnam War is won with the help of Dr. Manhattan. Richard Nixon remains president. Society grew fearful of regrets. The montage ends with public riots and masked heroes being outlawed worldwide. This world once trusted heroes and then rejected them. The hit of Rochas begins his investigation. Rochas, the masked vigilante, still operating illegally, investigates Black's apartment. He suspects the murder is not random but part of a large plan to eliminate former masked heroes. And a bit of about Rochas leaves behind his journal entries revealing his mindset. The world is corrupt, morality is dead, and only uncompromising judgment remains. He believes someone is killing masks. And introducing Dan Derberg Night Owl. Dan Derberg lives quietly surrounded by old gadgets and memories of his past as Night Owl. He is gentle, awkward, and deeply nostalgic. Without the mask, Dan feels purposeless. Heroism was the only time he felt meaningful. Rogers warned him about a possible conspiracy, but Dan is hesitant. He no longer believes violence will fix everything. If we talk about Laurie Jupiter and Dr. Manhattan, Laurie lives with Dr. Manhattan, the only true superhuman in the world. Manhattan experiences time non-linearly and sees reality as predetermined. Laurie feels emotionally abandoned. Manhattan's world like detachment makes him distant, cold, and increasingly disconnected from humanity. And if we talk about the relationship, feels more like habit than love. If we talk about the comedian funeral, former vigilantes reunite at Black's funeral. Each character reflects differently on who Black was. A patriot, a monster, a realistic, and a killer. Through flashbacks, we see Black's more emptiness. He believes the world is cruel, that pretending otherwise is foolish. No one truly mourns him, the only remembers fragments. And if we talk about Rosa's origin, prison scene, Rogers is arrested and sent to prison there we will learn his past through flashbacks, abandoned childhood, abuse, trauma, undefined moment involving a murdered child. This moment shattered his belief in moral ambiguity from then on, Richard embedded absolute justice. And prison is freaked not affected, he makes it clear he is not trapped with them, they are trapped with him. And if we talk about Dr. Manhattan's accused, Dr. Manhattan is publicly accused by giving people due to radiation exposure, although the accusations are false. Manhattan's reaction is chilling. He feels no need to defend himself. He leaves Earth entirely exiling himself to Mars. Without Manhattan, global nuclear tension skyrockets. Uh, if we talk about Laurie leaves Manhattan, Laurie finally confronts Manhattan's emotional absence and leaves him. She seeks comfort with Dan, and together they briefly return to regular life. With wearing the mask again, Dan feels alive, violence reignites something inside him. Confidence identifies purpose. If we talk about the prison Rio and Rosa's capture, as the prison erupts in Charles Rogers is attacked by inmate seeking revenge, and Dan and Dory breaks him out in a violent rescue for brief moment. The old Watchmen are reunited, but the world they return in darker, more fragile, and closer to nuclear war. And if we talk about Laurie learns the truth, Laurie discovers the secret about her percentage, the comedy in her biological father. This revelation shakes her identity, but also giving meaning to her existence. She was not an accident on Mars. This realization moves Rock Manhattan for the first time. He sees humanity as miraculous rather than it's not working, so I have to reload, I think. And we were Laurie learns on Mars. This realization moves Dr. Manhattan. For the first time, he sees humanity as miraculous rather than inevitable. He decided to return to Earth, and Ozymandias revealed Elena Wade was the most admired hero is revealed as the mastermind behind everything Black's murder, Manhattan's exile, global child. His plan is already complete. He has orchestrated a massive catastrophe to unite the world through shared fear. And if we talk about the final confirmation, while the heroes confirm verdict, he calmly tells that the truth he acted 35 minutes ago. Millions have already died. Wade believes he saved humanity by passing peace through sacrifice. The heroes are left with an impossible choice. He reveals the truth and restart global war, or remain silent and let the light stand. If we talk about Rochester, final decision Rochester refused compromise. Truth matters no more than we. He walks away into the snow, demanding Dr. Manhattan kill him rather than let him live with the light. Manhattan complies. Richards dies unbroken but alone, ending scene an uncertain phase. The world bonds together, nuclear war is avoided for now. Dr. Manhattan leaves Earth permanently, questioning whether life matters at all. In the final movement, Rogers' journal seats is a newspaper office, unread but waiting. The truth may still surface. And if we talk about final meaning of the film, Watchmen ends without comfort, no heroes win, no villains lost, no answer is correct. The film asks, is peace worth a lie? Is truth worth deception? Who decide the cost of salvation? And it leads to judgment with the hero. You can have, we have to have more. And if we talk about and if we talk about Watchmen 2019 for the scene by scene expansion, then the meaning of the comedian's murder. Edward Blake's death is more than a murder, it is the death of illusion. Blake represents brutal honesty. He understands the world is cruel and he is pretending otherwise. His silence, his laughter is not joy but mockery. When he dies, the film is telling something important. Even those who understand the truth are not protected by it. Blake dies not because he was wrong, but because he knows too much. If we talk about Richard's journal, the voice of a broken world. Author's journal or narration brings the story like a confession. He speaks of guilt, decay, and moral road, but the key detail is this: he does not describe the world is broken. He describes it as a deserving punishment, and Rogers does not seek balance, he seeks judgment. This is why compromise is impossible for him. And if we talk about the Kinney Act and death of Watchmen, the Kinney Act alters mass vigilance after public riots. This movement is crucial because it slows society rejecting its own creation. The public loved their heroes when they felt safe. They hated them when they felt threatened. Heroes survive, but only when it's convenient. Brain driven, the cost of losing purpose. Trains scenes are quiet and sad. His museum of unused potential, old gadgets, suits, and memories lie unlike creatures. The dawn does not hate the world. He simply does not know where he belongs in it. And when Dan puts soon back on his confidence, he tells instantly this reveals something tragic. Dan's identity is not eternal. It depends on performance. If we talk about Dr. Manhattan's origin, goodbye as isolation. John Astama transformation into Dr. Manhattan is one of the most important sequences in the film. He does not become a hero, he becomes a phenomenon. He experienced time simultaneously, and he experienced past, present, future. This removes urgency, emotion, and moral weight. To Manhattan, love is temporary, death is expected, suffering is mathematically insignificant. His godhood removes versus removes meaning rather than creating it. And if we talk about Glory Jupiter humanity is emotional welfare. Glory represents emotional reality in a world obsessed with control. She feels neglected, confused, and angry, but she feels unlike others. Glory doesn't intellectualize pain, she reacts to it. Her breakdown is not weakness, it is humanity. The prison scene Rossard unmasked. In prison, Rossard removes his mask and the guard realized something terrifying. The mask was not hiding him, it was protecting others from him. His backstory reveals his moral evolution was one moment he accepted that some people can't be redeemed. And From that point forward, mercy becomes a lie, forgiveness becomes weakness, and judgment becomes duty. The cancer of physician humanity rejects its God without Manhattan is accused of giving people cancer. The reaction is telling humanity turns on its savior instantly, not because of accusation is relevant, but because Manhattan is no longer comforting. Power is tolerated when it is used. Manhattan leaves Earth not in anger but in indifference. The world without Manhattan. Without Manhattan, the world is destabilized. Immediately, nuclear clock is close to midnight. Leaders panic, and in the world, the film makes one thing clear: immunity. If we talk about the reunion of Dan and Lori, in Dan and Lori return to Vigilant work, their violence awakens something inside them. They feel alive again. This is uncomfortable because it suggests that danger provides meaning more effectively than peace. Heroism there is non-moral. It is emotional. Laurie's revelation, the comedian as father, when Laurie learns the truth about her father, it reframes her existence. She was not flawed. She was not heroic. She was unlikely. This realization moves Dr. Manhattan deeply. For the first time, he sees humanity not as predictable but as miraculous. These moments bring him back to earth. If we talk about unlimited intelligence without limit, Adriana Bandit is the most dangerous character in the film because he is calm, confident, and already finished. If we talk about Ozymandias intelligence without limits, Adriana Vat is the most dangerous character in the film because he is calm, confident, and already finished. He doesn't argue, he doesn't hesitate, he doesn't regret, he believes in intelligence, gives him moral authority, his plan is horrifying and successful. I did it 35 minutes ago. This line restores the traditional climate. There is no fight, no reversal, no victory. The heroes are too late because Wyatt planned for that. The film makes a brutal statement. Intelligence without humility is tyranny. The final moral is split. Each character reacts differently. Dan stays silent. Laurie accepts with the lie. Manhattan agree face matter. Rochers refuses. Rochers choose death over compromise. This is not read as heroic. If we talk about the final moral fate, each character reacts differently. Dan stays silent. Laurie accepts the lie. Manhattan agrees peace matters. Richard Rosa refuses. Roach assumes death or compromise. This is not portrayed as heroic but as consistent. And we talk about the ending is built on blood. The world unites through shared grief. Nuclear was avoided. Humanity survives. Artificial and artificial thing became Roger's journal image waiting. We talk about finally Watchmen 2009 argues that heroes can't save humanity, God can't love humanity. Intelligence can't replace morality. Peace achieved through lies carried a delayed cost. The film does not answer its question. It leaves them with you. If you and let's go for more review. It's taking some time in loading, guys. If we talk about Watchmen 2009, scene by scene continuation, the smiley badge meaning before a story, the craft smiley badge appears again and again, not as decoration but as a silent statement. It represents the force of living in a world that is fundamental violent. A smile remains even when blood cuts through it. This symbolic quickly tells us the world prefers happy symbols over hard truths. It smiles while collapsing. Because if we talk about Earle is fitting, because the scenes of how his soul is isolation in detail, feeding gold mood, moving through shadow, avoiding comfort. He lives like a punishment in his natural state. This is important because Russell doesn't believe he deserves peace. He believes peace must be earned through suffering. And we talk about a comedian flashback violence without illusion. Through multiple places, we see blacks like brutally appearing weird, we feel jokes during war, violence without apology. Black is not confused about morality. He knows the world is ugly and he live pretending otherwise is dishonest. His laughter is joy, it is surrender. And if we talk about the final attempt on Adrian David, an assassin attacks Ozymandias, but the attempt fails. Sweat treats it like a nuisance, not a threat. His calm reaction reveals something unsettling. He already expected resistance. He already accounted for it. This is for the moment the film quickly signals that weight is far ahead of everything. The hit of the permanent non-television. Manhattan's TV is one of the most revealing scenes. He answers questions honestly without emotional fluidity. Frederick, when accused of coercion, he does not argue because argument assumes emotions. He does not care enough to defend himself. This terrifies me. And at the departure, the end of independence, in matters that the world reacts instantly, government panic, nuclear tension escalates, human desire is relied on a god. The film shows that dependence on absolute power weakens responsibility. In the poetry's realities. If we talk about Dan and Tari's emotional state, if we talk about the prison cafeteria scene, when Rachad removes his mask in prison, the room falls silent. His face is ordinary, but his presence is terrifying. The scene reveals better. Oscar reveals the source of fear is certainty or social calm. Acceptance of violence makes him more fighting than South itself. The prison reward. The order collapse instantly. The prison reward shows how thin civilization really is. Once control breaks, violence is spread immediately. Rothschild's survival is not skill, it is inevitability. He thrives where rules disappear. Dan and Lori break creatures out. The rescue is brutal and chaotic. Dan is forced to confront real violence against nostalgia. Afterward, Dan does not feel heroic, he feels human. Heroism, once revived, does not feel clean anymore. If we talk about Lari's emotional collapse, Lari's breakdown is one of the most human moments in the film. This is not crying because of tension, but because of identity confusion. She realized her was shaped by life, expectation, and manipulation. This is when she stops trying to be a symbol and starts being a person. If we talk about Manhattan on Mars distance as philosophy, on Mars, Manhattan builds structure and destroys gradually. He explains his view of time and existence. To him, human suffering is predictable. Death is ordinary, meaning is optional. This is good without relevance. We talk about Laurie's realization in imperfectibility of life. He realized the truth about her father Manhattan. She defends her existence is unlikely, unplanned, accidental. For the first time, Manhattan recognized that meaning does not come from design, but from chance. This moment reconnects him to talk about Wade's final revelation. When Wade reveals his plan, the most shocking part is not the destruction. It is his calm certainty. He believes history will thank him. He believes morality must be sacrificed for survival. Wade does not see himself as evil, he sees himself as necessary. I did 30, I did it 35 minutes ago. This line removes the illusion of control from the story. There is no fight because the outcome is already lost. The heroes are irrelevant, action comes too late, the moment destroys the traditional idea of heroism completely. If we talk about moral divine, each character responds differently. None accept silence to preserve peace, nor thinking survivance over truth. Manhattan sees the logic and leaves those of uses compromise. There is no undefined identified answer if we talk about versus plus integrity without mercy. Rosas walks into the snow knowing them what will happen. He does not beg, he does not argue. He dies as he lives, uncompromising. This is not celebrated, it is moved. If we talk about the final scene, Regal face the world moves together. This is gift for faith. But griefs faith. And I decay. Total journal remains untouched. but present trust truth with the final core meaning. If we talk about Watchmen 2009, it's not about revenge or villain. It's about the danger of certainty, the cost of fast peace, the loneliness of goodwill, the impossibility of moral purpose. It adds feeling of answer because answer would be dishonest. Let's go for its more review. We talk about master control. The world's background noise fear everywhere throughout the film, television, radio, newspaper, and conversation constantly talk about nuclear war. This background noise never stops. It is not dramatic, it is routine. People have learned to live with the idea that the world may end tomorrow. This matters because it explains why we want humanity is already exhausted, why fear they are already to accept any solution that promise relief. The comedian in Vietnam truth without mercy. Create now the comedian sues the pregnant woman without hesitation. This movement is not meant to solve world victim. It explains Black's worldview. He believes that his dual hope is dishonest, moral is reality is luxury. Black laughs because laughter is the only response he has left. He sees reality clear, but clarity without empathy turns into brutality. This is how he cries later when he understands Black's correct. For the first time, something is dark in his mask and emotional armor. Each character uses mask different. Princess hides vulnerability. Dan hides insecurity. Laurie hides confusion. Walt hides arrogance. The film shows that masks do not create strength. They delay confrontation with the self. Once the mask come off, none of them know who they are anymore. And we talk about the new instant anthem. Black Friday at the State Garden. A boy reads tale of the Black Friday while a man sells newspaper. This subplot mirrors the main story. A pirate believes committing Emily is necessary to save those he loves and becomes a very monster hero. This is that story and it ends the same way. Good intentions not win here. Takes control. If we talk about Manhattan's emotional flatline, Manhattan doesn't hate anymore. He should feel no longer relates to it with Laurie crying in her life. The pain instead of responding to it with her vulnerability and without urgency of the case. Power did not corrupt Manhattan distantly. Peter Ward's nightmare. That brings up fire, destruction, uh, and failure. These nightmares are there. He is not nostalgia from heroes. He is haunted by heroism gave him identity using his love in empty. Returning to it doesn't heal him, it only delays acceptance, the reverse in society turning on itself. The real scenes of how quickly order collapse, police are over him, people attack each other, fear spread faster than reason, doctor quickly argues civilization is thinner than heroes did not Parvan solves the only postmodern it. If you talk about Wade's isolation, and Wade lives alone in luxury, surrounded by street and information. He is worshipped by the public but deeply isolated. This is important. Wade does not trust him to save himself, he trusts only his own intelligence. Feeds his certainty. The cancer victim community is regulated. The cancer accusations against Manhattan are not proven, but they feel emotionally true to the victim. They need someone to blame. This moment shows humanity weakness with faced with suffering. Logic collapse, emotions begin to rise. Man suddenly because he realizes no longer hurting, he is destabilizing. And if we talk about Laurie and Dan's intimacy, Laurie and Dan connect emotional day after violence, their intimacy follows. Danger, not peace. This suggests something deeply uncomfortable. For some people, fear feels like meaning. The film does not address this. It is simply present. It honesty, mass creation without purpose. All mass Manhattan with beautiful structure and destroy them casually. Creation is nothing without attention. This is good word without rivers, power without purpose. Manhattan realizes that truth that without caring, even miracles feels empty. And if you talk about Wade's calm conclusion, when Wade explains his alarm, he doesn't defend himself emotionally, he explains it like mathematics. This is terrifying because he believes logic alone justifies mass death to make agree the numbers is in the history equation. If we talk about the hero's helplessness, the remaining Watchmen realize too late that they never mattered in disturbing the plot. They were distractions. This destroyed their tradition. Superior fantasy, the world is not saved by bravery, it is saved by preparation, research, absolute life. Research can't live with compromise, his worldview without no grace. To him, peace built on lies. It was then destruction. He chose death not to be remembered, but to remain honest. Integrity cost him everything. And the hit of God Manhattan's final choice. Manhattan kills Rogers not out of anger, but necessity. He understands that Rogers' truth will undo the faculty. This movement confirms Manhattan's transformation. He is no longer act as hero, he acts as a customer of outcome. The world afterward, the world mourned collectively, nation in a temporarily shared tragedy creates unity, but unity built on trauma is unstable. The film leaves us with uncertainty. How long can a lie hold with the world together? What if we talk about the journal, truth, waiting patiently, Rotha's journal ends up in the hands of people who can publish it without understanding its way. Truth doesn't need heroes, it only needs exposure. And if we talk about its final deep meaning, Watchmen 2009 Ultimate Argue. Absolute morality destroys compassion. absolute intelligence, destroying humility, absolute power, destroying connection, saving the world, magic may require light, but living in it requires truth. The film refuses to tell you which matters more. Let's go for a more review. It's not loaded, guys. we talk about the silence after the life, after which the plan success and the world does not celebrate loudly, there is no joy, there is relief with grief. People hold candles, cry together, stand silently in crowd. This matters. Peace arises not as strength but as exhaustion, humility accepts unity not because of it is noble but because it is tired of being. The fear says it that peace once this way is fragile, it exists only as long as only people are too afraid to question it. Dan and Lori survival not victory. Dan and Lori do not feel like heroes and their survival, but survival is not fulfillment. Lori compromised her ideals and compromised in personality. They choose life over truth. This is not portrayed as ignorance, it is portrayed as wisdom. The film doesn't condemn them, it quickly shows what most people would to choose will. Peak stability over moral purity. If we talk about the cost of compromise, every can pay a price. Richard pay with his life, Manhattan pays with his connection to humanity. Wade pays with isolation and paranoia. Dan and Lori pay with honesty. There are no winners, only people who can still sleep at night. If we talk about Wade's moment of doubt, after everything is done, Wade asks Manhattan, I did the right thing, didn't I? This is the most important line in the film. For the first time, Wade asks seek validation. Not logic, intelligence, or enough to need achieved it. Manhattan's answer is devastating, nothing ever ends. This line destroys Wade's certainty. Peace is temporary, life decays. Consequence, wait. If we talk about Manhattan departure, abandonment, not transcendence, Manhattan leaves Earth not because he has evolved, but because he can't bear the complexity of humanity anymore. He chooses distance over responsibility. This is the subtle not crucial. Goodwill doesn't make wiser. It makes him less acceptable, comfortable. Leaving it easier than saying, staying. The world without Watchmen. The film ends without heroes are on the streets. There is no promise that someone will step in if things fall apart again. This is intentional. The story was the safety net. Humanity is left alone with its toys and fears no savior event. The journal has a team of nonsense journalists sitting in a print newspaper office is not wrong, it is inevitability. Truth does not rush, it waits. And whether good or not, the truth exists, and existence alone makes peace unstable. The film ends not with resolution but suspended tension. All film ultimately shows without saying. Justify without compromise becomes cruelty. Each the truth becomes Daniel, power without physical distance, intelligence without infinity becomes tyranny, and was painful. The mean right may cost more than the ego. Finally, emotional undercurrent. Watchmen 2009 is not about superheroes, it is about what happened after idealism died. It asks, can humanity live with the truth, or does it need comforting lies to survive? The film refuses to answer because answer depends on who you are. So now let's talk what is more you. It's taking too much time, guys. Sorry for that. Okay, guys, it's rolled. If you talk about time and prison, the method does not experience time. It traps inside it every moment and stimulation, meaning nothing can truly stand for him. So it becomes an illusion. This is why Manhattan feels sweeter. He's not we are informed. Knowing everything means urgency without delay because why Manhattan could not feel the world. Hamilton had unlimited power yet he can't say he in a meaningful way because salvation requires uncertainty. Human progress comes from not knowing outcomes. Man already knows that this is why when discipline not required from requiring children silence uncertainty. If you talk about yourself, ask it more yourself. Yeah. Yourself shifting include must be present moral visualization that devotion has black and white shift mean never said he can't compromise because compromise would collapse his identity without his identity he had nothing left. If we talk about the meaning of opening funeral, the comedian's funeral gathers people who dislike, distrust, and misunderstand each other that reflects the world itself, fragmented, uneasy, held together by memory rather than trust. The funeral is not about blame, it is about what kind of people become heroes. If we talk about nostalgia as a trap, Dan longs for a past that never truly existed, could or they were just less complicated. Nostalgia in the film is dangerous because it replaces responsibility with memory. The past can't fix the current present. If we talk about Laurie's identity, Laurie's anger comes from discovering that her life was shaped by lies. Ever her existence resulted from violence. Yet this relevance gives her clarity. It is that meaning can exist despite everything. Human worth is not defined by how it triggers, but its value. That is not ancient, he is only I should think that no one else is capable for understanding the world and he does with intelligence less. We talk about the flag fighters final win. Pirate survived but destroyed everything he wanted. Protect his charity is not failure or success. Achieve it the wrong cause. This is verdicts where its fate, victory becomes clean forgiveness. While the film feels cold, the film's emotional distance mirrors the world it portrays. Warmth disappears, certainty increases. Only uncertainty allows hope, certainty frees it. If we talk about ending through it, the film ends without telling us whether the lie books because it can't just if we talk about final quick skill. Watchmen is about the unbearable weight of knowing how much and the fear of knowing too little. And the most dangerous people are not the cruel but the convinced. Let's go for its more it's taking little time. We talk about the illusion of control. Every major character believes they are in control of something. Fate believes he controls the future. I believe he understands reality. Conscience believes he controls morality. God believes he controls his fear. Laurie believes she controls her identity. By the end, all of them are proven wrong. Control in the film is always temporary. The more tightly someone holds it, the more vulnerability it slips away. Why wait this needed witness where it is not need to explain his plan to the other. It was already complete. This reveals something crucial. He did not If we talk about why debate needs to witness, logic did not need to explain his plan to others. It was already complex, yet he wanted to. This reveals something crucial. He didn't act purely for immunity. He acted to be understood, and they reveal sometimes we did not need is gone to the others. If we talk about why Wade needed witness, Wade did not need to explain his plan to others. It was already complete. Yet he wanted to reveal something crucial. He did not act purely for humanity. He acted to be understood. Genius without recognition becomes unbearable. His confession is not arrogance, it is loneliness breaking through logic, the absence of celebration. Notice how the film ever gives a weight or triumphant moment. There is no smile of victory, no release of tension, only doubt. This shows the film's core relief. Silence tried to kill me. It will never feel complete no matter how successful it is. If we talk about authors as a necessary failure, success is not meant to be admired, but he is necessary. He represents the cost of truth in a world that can't afford it. The film does not frame his death as heroic or tragic. It is inevitable. A rigid moral system can't survive in a flexible world. If we talk about Manhattan's final evolution, Manhattan's choice to live is not growth, it is retreat. He claims he may create life easier, but this is an abstract promise. Earth was complicated, distant worlds will be simpler. The mirror waits flaw, escaping complexity instead of enduring it, and the fragility of peace. The new global unity keeps dependence on three things: silence, fear, forgetting. The film simply shows cracks already forming, people grabbing kitchen, searching for meaning. Peace that requires ignorance is already gone. The new fear offered chaos versus order. The final scene in the new Stone newsroom is loud, messy, careless. It confronts sharply with words, sterile, intelligence. There is truth there. Truth does not emerge from perfect system, it emerges from disorder. I explained. If we talk about the Watchmen's true failure, they failed not because they were weak, but because they were too late. If we talk about they failed not because they were weak, but because they were too late. Heroes reacts power plant. The film strips away the fantasy that good intentions can outrun preparation. Why the film feels uncomfortable? There is no moral ending point, no character fully uh, earns our trust. This discomfort is intentional. The film refuses to tell you who is right, who is wrong, what should have been done. It leaves you in the same position as the character forced to live with co-sequel. If we talk about the final quiet question, the film does not ask who saved the world, it asks was the world worth saving this way, and it never finishes. What remains after the credits? No heroes, no certainty. Only people living inside a lie that feels safer than the truth, and then the knowledge that lies eventually demand payment. We can go even deeper, and let's talk about more. It will take little more time, guys, but today if we talk about certainty as the real villain, even disaster in the film is born from certainty. Fate is certain, humanity will destroy itself, truth is certain, compromise is heavy. Manhattan is certain, outcome can't change, government are certain, fear justifies control. No one is punished for cruelty as much as they are punished for being absolutely sure. The film quietly argues that uncertainty is not weakness, it is the only space where ethics can breathe, and why heroes becomes obsolete. In the world of Watchmen, heroes belong to earlier era, one where problems felt smaller and solutions felt personal. Modern threats abstract nuclear war, mass panic, global collapse, pulsing criminals no longer matters. Heroics are not defeated, they are outdated. If we talk about violence as a language everyone understands, the film shows violence not as sound, but as communication. Riot speaks when political fails, assassination speaks when justice systems, mass death speaks when diplomacy collapses. This is why Bates plan was it used the only language the world is still listening to. The emotional geography of the film notice how spaces streets feel dense and crowded, homes feels empty and fragrant, face layer feels sterile and inhuman. Mars feels vast and indifferent. This environment reflects inner state humanity is boxed in, power is isolated, goodwood is lonely, the comedian's breakdown is not fear of death, it is fear of meaninglessness. He realizes that even cruelty has been absorbed into a larger world. His silence no longer protects him, and brutality no longer stops. laughter drive. While origins is Manhattan, Lottie does not convince Manhattan with logic. She reminds him that implausibility itself is meaningful. Human existence is not rational. It is accidental, reintroduced under not orderly. Back into Manhattan's perception, the Watchmen as symptom, not solution. Each hero represents a flawed response to chaos. Road charge, more acceleration, where technology control Manhattan descends power, then is equal to law. Nostalgia, Daniel, and glory attempting survival. None of these alone can save the world. Together they still fail. And it was a review of movie. And I hope you like it. If you like it, then I hope you like. And let's go. Let's meet tomorrow. Goodbye.